Don't miss the new January 2018 White Dwarf.
Spiky bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today, taking a look at the Nurgle White Dwarf. This bad boy just arrived in the mail ahead of a crazy snowstorm here in North Carolina. So thank you for getting this to us. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is awesome. So Nurgle's on the way. A lot of interesting stuff in here. A lot of cool features for the new year, much like we published over on spikybits.com. You know, a whole bunch of, hey, the best of whatever for 2017. Games Workshop was also on the same page when it came to those type of features here with the majestic year that was 2017. And there was a lot of good stuff for the hobby. Obviously, Games Workshop turned around their direction 360 degrees from what we had seen in the past, and it paid off for them in spades. I mean, their stock's up. They're doing good as a company. You know, besides the whole general, hey, you're putting out too many rules and things are getting kind of wonky now already in 8th edition. You really can't complain that much. I mean, to be honest, I mean, except for, the X Codex isn't out yet, I suppose. But all in all, as a hobby, it is a great time to be a hobbyist. It's more of the problems are, hey, what do I paint next? Or, hey, what do I work on next? Instead of, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or this is wrong, or that is wrong. This particular White Dwarf has a lot of great features. Background information on death. Now, we don't know what the malign importance thing quite is yet, but I can't wait to find out more as we go forward into further into January there. There is some stuff in here we're not going to really talk about, the Dan Abnett kind of stuff, War Master, the whole Gaunt's Ghost series and stuff. That there is a ton of great content. Obviously, Dan Abnett is the man. GW, you know, wooed him back for one last book, or what hopefully is more books to come on that front there. And of course, you got all the Nurgle releases that we're going to go over, and a little bit on Blood Bowl in here. And there is a ton of Nurgle stuff in here. We're not going to cover it all, but maybe even more curious that there's two big features on ORKS in here, not just this one right here. So let's jump right into it. You've probably already seen a lot of this stuff, but coming to us here on pre-order on the 6th is going to be both of these supplement books, along with the big fatty himself, the great Unclean one for $140 US, and then the feculent Gnarl Maul, as well as this little guy right here, Mr. Mr. Spoil Pox, will be coming out as well, and then the demon cards there, and the other Herald, the Beast, the Lord of Blights, and the Blight Lords to follow the next week. Now, we published up an article today on what will be in this, where is it? This, a book right here that they previewed on Warhammer TV. We got the whole breakdown on it right there, of course, over on Twitch. If you're not following us on Twitch or Warhammer TV, you should definitely go over there. Give them a follow. A great bunch of content on that page there. Let's jump forward to some sections that are worth talking about. Not that there isn't anything not worth talking about, we're just not going to talk about it all. And here's the whole big Nurgle section here, where it talks about a lot of the background, of course, on the tree in both systems, the new character, Erotigus Rain Father, and then Horticulus Somulix is coming back. Now, you can get him in the Blight Wars box. If you're into Age of Sigmar, this might be a good pickup for you, because by himself, he's $55. And that box itself, I think, is $160, and it comes with basically the Nurgle getting started Demons box, plus some extra stuff, and Somulix, and a bunch of, well, I guess it's going to come with a bunch of Age of Sigmar Stormcast that you don't need, but you might be able to trade them out to somebody. Long story short, it is a good value. I think it was at around $300 in value for $150 or $160 US. Here you can see a whole bunch of demons, and of course the Death Guard coming in hot. These guys are awesome looking, and a lot of the rules for the demons are going to benefit Nurgle demons themselves, which, if I remember correctly, there are 6 units in the Death Guard Codex that are air quotes demons. Then we get into the year that was, and a lot of cool content in here that came out. Of course, stuff at the beginning of the year, we had the Triumvirates come out, then the switch over, and then the Caradon Overlords, then the switch over to 8th edition 40k, and lots of dope content. Did you notice how they did not put in here the Warzone Armageddon stuff? Because it was basically Necromunda Light that came out, you know, shortly after all of this right here. So they ominously omitted that, so to speak. But it was great terrain, and we're seeing a lot of people use all that sector mechanicus stuff. You're in White Dwarf, Forge Road Review, all this stuff is great in here. Vote for your miniature of the year for 2017. I wonder who's going to win. I know a lot of people haven't got their hands on the Slap Marble quite yet, but there's a lot of dope other miniatures in here. Of course, some of the stuff here was really, really good. Moving forward, it's going to get into a battle report, but we don't really need to show you all of that quite. Oof. Something just fell in the paint water over there. Oh, don't need to show you all that quite yet. On page 71 is going to be the death, the ultimate guide to death. Now, there's a couple of start collecting kind of features in here on orcs. This is kind of like a lore section on these bad boys right here. And then Maggot Kin of Nurgle, and it goes over all of the mortal and as well as demon offerings for that. And of course, like I said, Blight War is a good pickup there if you are so inclined. Then it gets into a couple of new rules for Necromunda, or I guess scenarios and campaign stuff in here, as well as an exclusive Warhammer Quest Hammer Hall mission in here as well. So a little bit of extra bonus content in that regard. And then it gets into the hobby stuff. Well, there's a lot more. There's like a feature in here where they talk about some of the Nurgle stuff, some of the like tonality kind of features. There's a little kind of conversion corner type deal here on terrain. Another feature on the orcs. Then it gets into the BattleForce challenge and also the 4-part series where some of the folks are putting together their armies. This is a great looking Adeptus Custodes force. Some Tau, some Space Wolves and Talons of the Emperor right there, which I think that box has actually been discontinued by Games Workshop. Maybe that's a gold for one of the or maybe that's a Tau for one of the teasers in this White Dwarf that we're about to get to. Paint splatter section, they give a good review on some of the techniques and some of the basic paints and sprays and brushes and stuff in here, because I imagine some folks are going to come over from Christmas and pick this up for the first time, which is really cool to see, and there's a lot more hobbyists obviously getting into this sort of thing. And then it gets into the model and painting section on not only how to paint a Plague Bearer, but also how to paint a Beast of Nurgle, which I thought was great, and getting into some of the technicals like the tongues. And purple's actually a tough color too. People complain about red and yellow a lot, but purple actually has its issues as well. Now here they go Screamer Pink to Dirt Sheet Violet, add in a little of the Carrienberg Crimson in the recesses to kind of shade it, Pink Horror, then they add a little flesh tone, and that's the key to a lot of purples. People go white, and then it kind of starts to, you know, make it almost like a Easter color, but that's not quite what you want sometimes. Throwing in this flesh tone is hugely clutch, and then Cadian flesh tone up to Kislev flesh is super good, and it gets into guts and all sorts of things, which are going to feature prominently on these Beasts of Nurgle right here. How do you guys feel about Beasts of Nurgle? I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, we've waited so long for a plastic kit, but they seem at $40 US. I'm just like, man, I don't know. I got to see the rules first. But I feel like I got these Plague Toads here that could kind of, you know, be accounts as on the same base. And me personally, I'm kind of torn. Like, do I mix in it? Do I mix in some Beasts and Toads? I guess Toads are their own. Man, I'm just like, I don't know anymore. I want to check out these Beasts. I want to see what they do. And then for the Plague Bearers, you've got, I like how they go with this Plague Sword here with working it up from the blue greens. But I kind of almost feel like just going Rust with some Rizza Rust and stuff, because that used to be one of their abilities, was that they had that like a Rust attack in 7th edition. So I feel like I might go that way with some of this. Me here personally, I got a bunch of Nurgles painted and unpainted there. So from there, that's pretty much it. Just some wrap-ups in here and a couple things here and there. But the last teaser right here that a lot of folks have already caught on to, a whole lot of gold. What does that mean for February? Don't know. Maybe it means Custodes, which would be nice if they got their own standalone supplement. Maybe perhaps that really cool looking captain that we saw previewed for them hitting 100,000 likes on their Facebook page. But maybe moreover, it's just going to be a feature on Pain Stormcast or something like that for Malignant Portents. Hard to say, but hey, we can always hope. And sometimes that's what's even cooler about this hobby, is using your imagination and hoping for some of these things right here. And then there's some of the variants of the new Great Unclean ones, and there is a battalion for Age of Sigmar. If you're Age of Sigmar fan, we learned today that we'll feature 3 of these bad boys right here. So really interesting stuff coming our way in less than 2 weeks. Matter of fact, going on pre-order this Saturday and being delivered in everybody's hot little hands there on the 13th, which will be next Saturday. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this little feature on January 2018's White Dwarf. If you like these sort of things, please make sure to work out your hobby muscles and hit that subscribe button along with the notification so you can be the very first to like and comment on all these videos on the channel.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.